Hello everyone, welcome to the Vikalp, the alternative. We have been discussing, deliberating on a range of issues. Now it's time to discuss about a very important day in the international perspective. That is the 1st December. That is internationally observed by the world community as World AIDS Day. Especially the United Nations, it has an annual theme every year, and this year's theme is end inequalities and AIDS. So it is inequality across the globe, across the states of a particular nation. It is inequality which drive a range of problems, and if you can contextualize the very perspective, this annual theme of United Nations, aiming to its partner organizations like the World Health Organization and the entire world community, calling upon to come together, to work together towards ending inequalities. And it is the need of the hour. So we are not going to discuss about the historicity and all those things that how it was diagnosed for the first time and the science of it. We are not going to the detail of it, but we are sticking our analysis to the very point that the annual theme, the international theme of World AIDS Day for the year 2021, that is end inequalities and AIDS. And if you're talking about, just take an example, but this is a very sensitive example. You take the example of trafficking that is rampant, and violence against women, violence against girl child across the globe. And this is a matter of huge concern. And it essentially arises from a range of socio-economic. So the crux of the theme, the very objective of this theme, international theme, and inequalities and AIDS, is that it is not the lack of knowledge which keeps us hurting, but it is the structural inequalities, the social, economic, legal inequalities, structural inequalities that hurts us as a world community. And those inequalities, those structural inequalities, need to be essentially addressed if we are really serious in our fight against AIDS. The world community came together and promised to finally complete the battle against AIDS, the fight against AIDS successfully by 2030. But it seems off the track, and is because the reason that we are not addressing inequalities that drive such issues, health issues, and quite importantly, quite significantly, United Nations has clubbed AIDS and the COVID-19 pandemic. And it essentially mentions in its report that if you take the example of COVID-19, the pandemic, the global pandemic, it also stems its root from inequalities. So the unfolding crisis, the social and economic crisis in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic is as alarming as the pandemic itself, and it's high time that we need to realize it as a global community, and especially as global citizens, and particularly from those of the developing nations like India. So quite significantly, United Nations and the world community under its umbrella came together and decided the theme of the annual theme of World AIDS Day 1st December, that is inequalities and AIDS, and most importantly and pandemic. So if you are really serious in your fight against AIDS and the global pandemic of COVID-19, you have to address inequality, and basically the structural inequalities in the form of social inequality, economic inequality, and legal inequality. And in this process, the left out, the marginalized, they need our support across the globe. They need at the social level, economic level, at the legal level to fight the battle against this huge problem of at the global stage, and we need to come together to address it from across the spectrum. And it is the day to protect the dignity of those who have been affected, to stand in solidarity with those families who have lost their near and dear ones to AIDS, to pandemic, and take a place that we need to strategically fight the issue of inequality, the structural inequality across the globe, irrespective of where we belong to. And this is the message of today. Thank you. Thanks so much.